Hi everyone, this is Ray with the education team from Swirlydoos Kit Club, and today I'm going to share with you just some short tutorials on what you can do with the Mediums add-on for March 2014. So this month we have these Magicals in Midnight Rendezvous, Art Anthlogy Stone Effects, it's a dimensional medium and it comes in sandstone. And this Art Anthlogy Sorbet dimensional paint comes in red velvet. It's not a velvet paint, they also make a velvet one. This is a sorbet, so it's shiny. The velvets are not, they are a matte finish, but this is a sorbet. And the last thing that comes in the Mediums add-on is a mask, and it's this Prima mask right here. And I'm going to go over each of these things and just a couple of different ideas of what you can do with these. So first up, let's look at these Magicals. I think what I like to do for the most part is I like to use a water pen. So it's just a paintbrush that has water in there. You can get them at Michael's. And we have these little wood icons that come in the main kit. So what you do, or what I like to do, is I just squeeze until it gets wet. It's got some water. And then I put the wet brush inside of the Magicals, and then I squeeze more out, and I can see how opaque that's going to be. You can make this really opaque, or you can make it really thin. It's not so opaque, but it's darker. So I can do that. This is somewhat of a medium opacity here. I have a pretty shiny black frame, so I can use that for one of my projects. And I'll just show you on white paper here. So it almost has a purplish hue to it. It also looks really good on chipboard. Here's a piece of chipboard that I've already primed with some white paint. And I can just take my water brush back in, and I can just make that look a tiny bit distressed. And the last thing that I like to do with this is it kind of looks cool if it's mixed in with gesso. So you could color your gesso if you wanted to. Take some of that water off of there so it's not mixed in. Put some in like that. And this is giving me like a purpley grayish color here. So it's a pretty versatile medium. Okay, moving on to the stone effects. I love this stuff so much. I need to get all of the colors. It comes in black. I totally need that. This is very matte. There is a little bit of glitter in there, but it's overall a matte color. I love it. I used it with a mask. I used it with this one actually, and I used it with this part right here on a layout that I used for reveal. And here it is right here. It was actually pretty color true on this black. I thought maybe it would dull down, but it didn't. So I actually put some black chalk ink on there to tone it down a little bit. But let's see, you can see it like right in there. You can see that it is pretty bright. There's a piece right there. So it stays true to the color on dark. It's really pretty. And you can do a lot of things with the texture with it. I can't wait to play around with it some more. Just show you how thick it is. That's the consistency. It's not going to fall off of your palette knife. So you can make this really thick. You can thin it out. I think it would be great for beach layouts. And you can make any sort of little indentations that you want to do. So a very versatile medium. And the last medium that we have is the Sorbet in red velvet, and I really love it. We had this last month too in a purple color, so I'm not going to go over the things that I went over with how to do it on the chipboard and stuff, but this is what this color looks like in particular on black. Really pretty. We have black papers in the main kit, so this would look really pretty as an overlay of some kind. And here's what it looks like on a piece of lighter paper, and I used this and I just barely painted any on there. So it is translucent and it can vary because it gets darker here, and this is me using it on a mask. This was a very thin mask. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, so this is a memory box mask that I got out of the Swirlydoos store, and so it's pretty intricate, and it went underneath, and that's probably user error. But when I always test my masks out with a certain medium, and it basically depends on both the medium and the mask, or the stencil, I think it's a good idea to test it first to see how it's going to work. I know it's going to work like that, so I'm going to need to do something else. I'm not going to use a palette knife first. I'm going to go ahead and use a sponge when I do it. So I'm actually working on a canvas right now, and so I'll just do it on camera here. I have this canvas. It's a burlap that I got from Michaels. I think these are pretty new. Anyway, I use this first part of the mask here, and I'm using it backwards. And I actually use some Art Anthlogy velvet paint in basil for this part right here. And so I'm just going to line it up now that it's dry as best I can. That's pretty good. And now I want to use this red velvet on here for the roses. Well, I'm actually not too unhappy with that. I think it looks pretty good, even though I didn't get it as detailed as I wanted to in here. I can just come back in and take some of that off of the leaves there, and then I can fill it in with a brush in here, and I think it looks pretty good. It's not the best, but I think it will do for my purposes. And those are all of the mediums and the mask that come in the kit. So I hope you got some ideas on what you want to do if you did get the mediums add-on, or just some general information anyway. So be sure to go to swirlydoos.com and check out all of our tutorials in our online community. Thanks for watching.